Long before stock markets, digital currencies, or financial advisors, there was a small village at the edge of a dry plain. Every morning, before the sun fully rose, the villagers woke up and picked up their buckets. They walked for hours to a distant river. They filled their containers with water, or beer. They carried the heavy weight back home under the burning sun. This was life. This was survival, and no one questioned it. Carrying water was hard, exhausting, and endless. But it was familiar, and familiarity felt safe. Everyone did it, so it must be the right way. Except for one man. His name has been lost to time, but the villagers remembered him for one thing. He did something no one else dared to do. Instead of carrying water every day, he started digging a well. Right in the middle of the village. At first, people laughed. "Why are you wasting your energy? The river has always been there. You're digging dry ground. There's nothing beneath it. You could have carried water like the rest of us." Every day, while others returned home with water, he returned home with nothing but dirt on his hands and exhaustion in his body. No reward, no visible progress, no proof it would ever work. Weeks passed, then months. His hands were blistered, his back ached, and still no water. The villagers used him as a warning. See what happens when you try to be different? He works harder than all of us, yet gains nothing. At least we have water. But the man kept digging, not because it was easy, not because it was popular, but because he understood something the others didn't. What the villagers couldn't see was the invisible line beneath the ground. They judged progress only by what was visible above the surface. Buckets of water, immediate results. Daily rewards, but wells don't work that way. A well demands faith before proof, effort before reward, vision before validation. And this is where most people, even today, give up. Because human nature is wired to ask one question: what am I getting right now? If the answer is nothing, we assume we're failing. But the man digging the well was not chasing today's comfort. He was building tomorrow's certainty. One morning, the sound changed. His shovel hit something different. Not dirt, not rock, water. At first, it was only a small trickle, barely enough to wet the soil. But soon, the ground gave way, and water began to rise. Cold, clean, endless. The village gathered in silence. The same people who mocked him now stared in disbelief. No more long walks. No more heavy buckets. No more dependence on the distant river. The man had changed everything, not just for himself, but for everyone. And suddenly, the question was no longer, "Why are you digging?" It became, "How did you know?" This story is not about water. It never was. It's about money, wealth, and the way most people live their financial lives. Most people are carrying water. They trade time for money. They chase the next paycheck. They work harder every year just to stay in the same place, and they believe this is normal. But carrying water has a limit. Your body gets tired, your time runs out, your energy fades. A well, on the other hand, represents systems, assets, skills, investments, businesses, knowledge that compounds. Digging a well is hard at the beginning and unrewarding. That's why most people never start. Carrying water gives immediate results. You work today, you get paid today or this month. You survive. That's comforting. Digging a well feels risky. You invest time without guarantees. You sacrifice comfort for uncertainty. You look foolish before success arrives. Society praises visible effort, not invisible preparation. That's why people admire hard workers, but rarely teach system builders. Yet wealth does not come from effort alone. It comes from leverage. Today, wells don't look like holes in the ground. They look like learning high-value skills while others scroll, building a business while others chase promotions, investing consistently while others spend emotionally, creating content, systems, or intellectual property, developing financial discipline when income increases. These actions look boring, slow, unimpressive, until one day they change everything. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people quit one step before the breakthrough. They dig for weeks, they dig for months, they see no results, and they stop. Not because the well was impossible, but because the reward was delayed. Delayed rewards test identity. They force you to choose between comfort now or freedom later. Most choose comfort. The villagers didn't mock the man because he was wrong. They mocked him because his actions challenged their choices. If his well worked, it meant their daily suffering was unnecessary, their strategy was limited, their comfort was costly, so they defended their way of life by attacking his. This still happens today. When you start building differently, people won't ask how. They'll ask why you're not like them. True wealth rarely announces itself early. It grows silently. While others see no results, no proof, no validation. Beneath the surface, skills compound. Knowledge deepens, systems strengthen. By the time success is visible, the work is already done. That's why success looks like luck to outsiders. They never saw the digging. Carrying water works until it doesn't. Until you get sick. The economy shifts. Your job disappears. Inflation eats your income. Time runs out. Those who never dug a well have no backup, no system, no leverage, no control. They must keep carrying, no matter the cost. One of the most expensive things in life is the need to look successful too early. Most people don't fail financially because they lack intelligence. They fail because they lack the courage to look foolish for a season. Digging a well means working in silence while others measure progress in applause. It means choosing long-term freedom over short-term validation. It means being misunderstood, sometimes by the people closest to you. While others spend to appear wealthy, you delay gratification to become wealthy. And that gap, between appearance and reality, is where most people break. They can't stand driving an old car while their income grows quietly, saying no while others say, "You deserve it," watching others enjoy today while they invest in tomorrow. But the truth is brutal and simple. Real wealth requires you to disappoint people who don't understand your vision. The man who dug the well didn't look smart. He looked stubborn. He looked slow. He looked wrong, until he didn't. Everyone wants the outcome. Very few are willing to commit to the process. That's because your well will not reward you at the beginning. It will test you. It will test your patience, your discipline, your identity. Your well is invisible at first. No one sees the extra hours you spend learning. No one claps for the money you don't spend. No one congratulates you for choosing restraint in a world addicted to excess. And this is where the separation happens. Some people quit because they feel unseen. Others continue because they understand something deeper. Visibility is not proof of progress. Progress is happening underground. Your thinking is changing. Your habits are sharpening. Your decisions are becoming quieter and smarter. And one day, the invisible becomes inevitable. Not because you rushed, but because you stayed. There is a moment, subtle, almost quiet, when everything shifts. It doesn't come with fireworks. It doesn't arrive with applause. It comes as relief. You realize you're no longer panicking about money. You're no longer exhausted by every bill. You're no longer dependent on one fragile source of income. You didn't escape work. You escaped fragility. Your well doesn't mean you stop doing anything. It means your effort finally has leverage. Your time works even when you rest. Your decisions compound instead of drain. Your future feels less like a threat and more like a direction. And in that moment, you understand something most people never do. Carrying water kept you alive. Digging the well gave you a life. We live in a world of constant shocks, economic crises, job instability, technological disruption, rising costs, uncertain futures. In a world like this, relying only on carrying water is dangerous. Because when the river changes, when the path gets longer, when your strength fades, those without wells have no choice but to keep walking. The people who survive the future are not the strongest. They are the most prepared. They built before they needed it. They sacrificed before they were forced to. They dug when it was unpopular, not when it was obvious. And that's the difference between those who panic in chaos and those who remain calm when everything shifts. So here is the real question. Not, how much do you earn? But, what are you building that can outlast you? Are you spending every ounce of energy just to survive today? Or are you quietly creating something that will support you tomorrow? Because one path leads to exhaustion, the other leads to freedom. And the difference is not talent. It's not luck. It's not background. It's the decision to start digging, even when no one believes. If this message spoke to you, if you feel that pull to stop carrying and start building, subscribe to this channel. This is a place for people who think long-term, who value systems over shortcuts, who are willing to look patient in a world obsessed with speed. Start digging today. One day the water will rise, and when it does, your life will never be the same.